This is two shy guys a mile high, and we're gonna run it like through.
Certified on the track.
Yo, we are back. This is Two Shot Guys a Mile High, 2CGMH. You here with your boys, we in the lair. It's your boy P-Wil, aka Mr. Feel Good.
It's your boy WB. Come fly with me, but you can't fly for free.
It's your boy Al-Diga.
The architect.
Still building together. You know, every time we come down here, bro, I'm just always enjoying the view, because we get to kind of look out and see like these pear trees, and every year we know what's gonna happen. The pears are gonna blossom, do their thing, and then they're gonna fall, right? That's just how life has been, bro. It's been, seasons of change, right? I'm talking like massive changes that have happened, and it depends upon where you're looking and the perspective you take. And I think that's how you kind of go about your day. Like, so let me give you an example. I know this sounds like just random.
No, it's random.
But no, because I'm just looking, like every time I sit in this chair, I get a different view of what's going on. Like because from my perspective, I'm safe, right? I'm good. There's no rain on me. But for somebody looking inside of where we are, like they could have a skewed view of what's going on inside of our house and our layer, because you don't know what's going on behind the scenes, but change is a part of it, right? And so I was just looking, I'm like, man, I see the pears, I know what they're gonna do. They're gonna grow, they're gonna fall, they're gonna grow, they're gonna fall. And as long as you keep nourishing that particular plant and that tree, you're gonna get consistent results, right? And so if you have a narrowed view, a narrow perspective of life, then you're never gonna get that growth. I was just thinking about that, man, as we was coming into the podcast, man. I don't know if that's.
No, we've been down in the lair for seasons, though.
Man,
Yeah,
for
we
real.
We gotta celebrate 5 seasons of doing this,
seasons,
man. It's
man.
been years of actually putting in that grind, putting in the work, man.
And
We've been on the airline for years, man.
On the airline,
We flying with WB.
Man, got to be.
Cue the jet sounds.
How y'all doing, man? We checking in. What's up?
I'm good. That was very, very profound. I was trying to see where you were going with it, but you brought it back together.
Yeah, you definitely did.
But it definitely is about perspective. I also think that is just life in general. You really only see the outwardly things that people do. You just see people's output from either the way they're walking around or their Instagram account, or what's your perspective or what you see them as, but you don't understand what each individual person has to go through to be in the position that they are.
Yeah.
That's why they tell you can't cast a stone, or don't judge one person's sin greater than the next, because you don't know what anybody's walking through on a daily basis. So I say that to say that focus on yourself, and I also say that to say that just keep living your own personal life, traveling your own personal race, because there's no reason to compare yourself to the next person when it should be battling against yourself on a daily basis. Because it's easy to look at, all right, Elon Musk, oh yeah, man, he's balling, he's going out to space, he's about to do X, Y, and Z, and then you'd be like, oh, I want to be just like him. But do you know what he has to go through? Do you know what it took to get to that person? So you got to be careful of wanting to be in another person's shoes, because there's a price to pay for some of this stuff.
Oh, absolutely.
It ain't for free.
Absolutely.
It's not an airline, you know what I'm saying? You're going to pay for it. So just building on what you said, you being the architect, we leveraging that. But like I said, too, I'm not good, because I just witnessed this past week, my favorite rapper just got shot going to support a business in Memphis, Tennessee. His name was Young Dolph. Adolph Robert Thornton Jr. put on Instagram about a couple weeks before he's going to support a black business named Makita's Cookies. Always going there. And then literally 2 weeks later, he just gets shot. Senseless violence, you know what I'm saying? So Nipsey Hussle, one of my other favorite rappers too. They're gonna be like, man, Will got a lot of favorite rappers. He got shot right in front of his store business too. So the senseless violence and the gun violence in particular, I don't understand. And then there's so much stuff going on in the country with the landscape, with other cases involving guns, which we get into later on in this episode, and how they get ruled on. It just don't compute with me. I don't, at the core, I just don't understand it. But that's me. I'm gonna toss it up to Drip, because I've been over here talking.
I know, man. I'm no, just to build on what you were saying. Just the senseless violence, man. It's got to stop, man. It's got to stop. We gotta be stronger together, man. But it's just so crazy what's going on, and just seeing it from different perspectives, like you were saying. I just don't understand what gets you to the point where you want to take another person's life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's not rational.
It's not
rational because everybody wants to live, right? Like,
everybody got stuff there, because he was a father, he was a brother, he was a son, he was a
philanthropic person, entrepreneur.
He brought back in the community that he was from.
Yeah.
Chicago born. So you got to rep that Chi-Town. And he always gave it up, but doing his own thing in Memphis and supporting a black business, man, and then, you know what I'm saying, and then putting out music, showing people that, because he was independent.
Yep.
So he owned his own masters, owned his own records and stuff. So you got to support him by listening to his music. I'm pretty sure it probably goes to his family, most likely, if that's the case. So just support that, to make sure you support his family, because, you know, our thoughts and prayers are out to, you know, his family.
Yeah, for sure.
In this time, but
especially his wife.
Yeah,
she's really, because she has a whole thing about why black men can't grow old. That's an organization she starts, and her own black king got killed. He didn't even live to grow old. Wow, that's crazy.
Wow. Yeah, for real.
I mean, and the thing is we it's so hard for us to fathom that, because we cherish, you know, the opposite of what's happening there, right? We cherish life, growth. You know what I'm saying? And the thing is like you were saying, Dub, they don't know what's going on behind the scenes. Like, we can only imagine what they're going through behind the scenes of what's happening after that. But to bring it back to what we're talking about, you know, how do you know like when you have a skewed perspective? Because, like, let me give an example there. When you go into, let's say, a new work environment, I like to bring it back to practical, you know, applications. When you go into a work environment, you're expecting this company to perform a certain way given its stature, right? We'll just say a big tech company, a big firm. Do you think it serves you well to go in there with the highest of hopes, thinking that they're going to solve every problem that you have, you know, or give you everything that you want? Or is it better to go in there with the understanding of you have to be your own captain, steer your own ship, you know what I'm saying, make your own way? Like, I guess what perspective serves you better there when you step into this unknown? Because I think we can get a different skewed perspective, and that'll kind of ruin our initial experience. Does that make sense? You know what I'm saying? What I'm asking?
I would say come in with both mindsets. One with the mindset that is not your business, is not your company. Try to get the best out of them as they're trying to get the best out of you. I would say leverage your employment situation, because we're all here for a reason. Yes, they are paying you. Yes, you're doing a job, but the benefits and everything, and I'm on the clock a lot. I'm bringing you a lot of intellectual property, so I'm going to do the same thing that you're doing to me. Not necessarily in a negative manner, but a fair shake. You know, so you want to hope for the best, but at the same time, you know that your name is not on the building. You have to have your own best interest at hand at the end of the day. Not in a negative way, but you need to be in control of your career. You need to be in control of what you are doing. Control the controllables, and just let God do the rest. That's the mentality I would say is better to go in. Because you do want to have high hopes, not necessarily too high where you're blinded and jaded by what's going on, but you want to just be able to keep your head on the swivel.
Yeah, I would always say that you go in there with the perspective that you're gonna, give, what I'm saying, your effort in supporting whatever job. If you agree to take a job on or go into a new workplace or do a new thing, then you agree to give your expected effort to the job as well. And then with the things that at least you put your all into something, and then understanding the perspective of how the business is performing, you gauge how long you want to actually give your service to the company. And if you don't feel that way, then you get out or go on and do your own thing. And I feel like from a lot of business, you learn how business operate so that you can operate like that, like coming from lean principles. We go to work and understand the lean principles and apply it, and now we applying it to our lives as well as, going out and being more efficient and getting rid of waste and doing that. So it's about, I think, from my perspective, it's about putting in your own effort to get to the outcome that you would like to achieve to help the business succeed. Or not to sabotage, at least.
Right. You better. Why go there if you're gonna sabotage? Yeah, but no, I feel you. Has it changed over time? You think? Like,
I mean, you get a jaded perspective.
Yeah, it's changed over time.
Like because the expectation for me has changed as well. Like over time, my life has changed. So I've had to change my view of kind of what I'm expecting from just myself, right? You know what I'm saying? Like we get up and do this in the morning. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not an early person. People know that. But when it's time to get up, I know I have to get out of my own mind and go, you know what? I don't care how I feel about getting up at 5. If we got stuff to do, let's get up and go get it done. And I think we talk about perspective. Like, people don't have that perspective of what it takes to run a successful podcast. You know what I'm saying? Like, to toot our own horn. I feel it's successful. You know what I'm saying? And we're going to take it to the highest level it can go, Lord's willing. And so, but the perspective of it is just like, oh, man, y'all got a new episode out. Cool. For most people, and that's good. They don't know what's going on in the background, and they shouldn't. But we try to, as two shy guys at Mile High, we try to bring everybody into the fold so they can at least feel what's going on behind the scenes. But the perspective is just we put out a cast. But we know what it takes, hours, you know what I'm saying? We just talked to Queen B. She know, she's there in the thick of it. All our queens are. They know. So shout out to them for having a different perspective of everything. You know what I'm saying? Because if they don't allow us to kind of step away from what we're doing with them, hey, we're not here to be able to do this for everybody else. And so it's pretty cool, man. So yeah.
I was trying to see where this is going because I thought we were going to talk about gun violence.
Hey, for real, you derailed the whole thing.
But
still, it's
relevant. It's relevant because the perspective of why we talking about it, is crazy. I mean, verdicts come out where, we know it was the wrong one. I mean, just intellectually, if a guy runs out with a firearm and shoots 3 people.
Can you give people some context, brother?
We're talking about the Kyle Rittenhouse case. Just how fugazi that verdict is. I mean, I'm just gonna go right to it. How I felt about it. It's a testament to why the system is broken, or as my colleague and best friend has told me and schooled me on, the system maybe is working too well. So it was senseless, man. I mean, and there's no way that crying tears on the stand should get you a swing of votes one way or the other when wrong is wrong. So we can go from there, guys. I'm still a little.
There's so many layers to this.
A little jaded there.
There's so many layers to uncover this situation because, first of all, I'm thinking this boy. I ain't gonna call him a man. Use a boy because you ain't even 18. Decides that he wants to drive from where he was from to Kenosha, Wisconsin to help keep things civil for a protest on the death of a black man. And how these people are feeling about everything that happened. And to be out there just with the AR-15, automatic, just out here walking around. First of all, that's the white privilege card accepted everywhere. Because how in the world you just out there just with the heat, a burner like that, just out there in the chest?
He came out there from Illinois all the way. He drove with the intent to do something harmful to somebody else with the AR-15 to a protest, and figured that he was just gonna be above the law and take care of things in his own hand. So it's like, first of all, you got to have a permit to hold a gun in your state, let alone going to another state.
Across state lines.
Then you go to a protest strapped up and, come on.
Brandishing.
Man.
But this is where it gets kind of crazy, because in the case, the defense said that the weapon was there in Wisconsin. That he didn't drive it across state lines.
Oh. So
that was one thing. I'm not sure how much I believe that, because I don't know how you can verify or validate that. He didn't get pulled over or whatever.
Even if he did have the gun, it was premeditated at that point. If he had it stashed somewhere else, or because he lived in Illinois, so he had to cross the border, and whoever dropped him off, go into the protest armed and dangerous. Then he also walked past multiple police officers in cars after he shot somebody else, killed two people, and shot somebody else. And then you get offered some water or something. They offered him water just and say, he went over there and acted as if he was a police officer, official or something, and then shot somebody else.
But that's the other part of it as well too. He was allowed to do that because of white privilege, 1,000%. Because 100%. If anything like that happened, and if me or you, Drip, or you, Architect, we getting handcuffed, no questions asked. So first of all,
box cutter. You get a box cutter in your hand, bro. You gonna get gunned down. A phone look like a gun. You ain't let alone carry it across your chest.
Across your chest?
With the strap, bro. You literally strapped up.
Right after, you know what I'm saying?
So I'm not excusing but it gets slippery when you talk about the argument of self-defense. Once that self-defense kicks in, it doesn't matter why he went down there according to the law. And the defense knew that and played into that, but clearly he has good defense attorneys. The prosecution team could have done a better job probably, and that's how you end up getting caught. Because he's down there. Yes, he had the strap and everything. But once people realize who he is and what he's doing down there, that's when they start attacking him and being aggressive and hitting him with the skateboard or whatever this may. And that's when he gets into the tussle, and then he ends up shooting somebody. Because at that point, the defense is saying that he was fearing for his life.
Come on.
And it just happens just like that. But that's just in accordance to the law and how they were ruling. And people know and play into that. But I'm not right, wrong, or indifference. That's how they apply the law. I take it one level deep. These people were white that died. In my mind, and with psychology and how it works, this is a direct message. If you are aligned to the causes of Black Lives Matter, your life don't matter either. I'm thinking about it from that perspective, if we want to go that deep.
Wow. And as peaceful protest turns to, deadly, what I'm saying? It doesn't even make any sense, man, just to be able to, first of all, be able to get that gun at 17, you know what I'm saying? And then, first of all, if he had a place to go get it across state lines, we talking about, I'm up here to peaceful protest, but give me a gun.
At minimum, he should be getting a weapons charge. At minimum. Lil Wayne gets caught up, he gets a weapons charge. People do, you just get a weapons charge, right?
But they dropped all
of them.
6 counts.
All of them.
Wrong place, wrong time, buddy. Come on. How'd that work for him, though? Wrong place, wrong time. You feel for your life there. I mean, everybody that's seeing you with this gun is probably fearing for their life. We don't know what the state of the mind is of somebody walking around, You're not a police officer.
And that's what I guess you meaning by
You're not SWAT.
people are attacking them. Because, I mean, if you see somebody walking down the street with an AR,
I wouldn't
15, you
attack.
feel for your life.
Right. I mean, but you gonna feel some type of way. I'm gonna be like, yo,
I have to
I'm
exit stage left. But
Right,
some
right.
people,
love.
hey, I guess whatever.
a fear for my life. And at that point, you know what I'm saying? If you strapped up, he's strapped up, and now you got a shootout. You know what I'm saying? But
And a lot of people have guns. There's statistics on that. I think we were just looking up something for the show. For every 100 persons, there's about 120 and a half guns out there.
so it's more guns than people.
Whole lot of choppers on the
a whole
edge.
lot of choppers.
I mean, but the perspective is that he should have gotten something. There's not even a slap on the wrist.
Not even. He ain't even get a speeding ticket, boy.
Not even.
He didn't even get a warning.
Matter of fact, you
Slow
you
down
lost-
next time,
You
partner.
wasted the taxpayers' money here. Like you wasted money. You know, so it's like, where's the value added here? Nope. You know, the three folks that got gunned down. Where's the justice for them?
Judge clearly biased.
Oh, man. And then just all the other stuff. All the other shenanigans that was happening in the courthouse, then it just don't make sense how everything transpired.
Don't make sense.
For not to have any charges. So it's basically telling people you can go across state lines with a strap and shoot somebody if you can bet in court that your prosecutor or your defenders can argue to say that you're claiming self-defense. And what's that teaching the generation and youth?
How to get away with murder.
Basically, season 7.
Straight up and
Viola
down.
Davis, we got another case for you.
Man,
They can extend the seasons.
This is not new news to us. Outcomes like this. So I'm just gonna be straight up. When the judge was talking Fugazi, you know what I'm saying, you're supposed to be impartial to this, and you injecting your own bias into this case, you know. Not gonna get on it, bro. I'm sad.
That's why we need more black
sad.
leaders in
That's real
the
talk.
judicial system.
We do. That's why we need to be up in there in all areas of life.
We need to have all types of representation
All
everywhere, man.
representation.
Leadership matters. Representation matters, man. Like, that's why we do what we do, man, here. You know, because we know if we had a lesson, if I had a lesson like this in my life, or a platform where I could hear, you know what I'm saying, people like me going through similar things that I'm probably going to go through, you know, as a young man growing up, I would take that, you know what I'm saying, that information. You know, we've been blessed enough to be able to have an outlet for this, because I mean, this has really been kind of just a sad time, man, for just anything, you know. And then you got
Yeah, you can do whatever right now, man. You can talk however you want to talk. Tote the strap.
Tote the strap.
Get the strap. Do everything. People just being real bold right now out here.
Taking it back to the Wild West.
And protect your neck.
got you, man.
Hey, but I just recently watched The Harder They Fall. That's a good movie.
I need to tap in.
Hey, tap in.
I need to.
'Cause if we gonna take it back to the Wild West, there's some raw individuals in that movie. That was a good movie.
Okay.
That's Netflix, right?
Yeah, Netflix.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Let's check out.
I mean, I'm not endorsing gun violence. I'm just talking about the subject at hand.
I am endorsing protecting yourself.
Yeah,
Protecting your neck. I think we've talked. You said that.
No, yeah, for real.
Protecting your neck,
And I know,
man.
like a few years ago, how was the getting into the class that you took, the firearm class? How was that experience? Being
nice,
able
nice.
to be subjected
trained
under that,
in
you
that.
and then your whole family all been trained by a licensed person to show you how to operate.
Yep. Cal Thompson, man. Cover your six, man. Check him out. He's on Facebook, good dude. Served his country, you know what I'm saying? And so he came back to Washington, put on a couple classes. Just stellar, man. I mean, just to be able to, first of all, respect that, you know, the firearm and what it's for. I mean, it's for protecting. It's not for, you know, murdering and killing. You know, I think we talked about this. You know, it's not the guns that kill people. People kill people. You know what I'm saying? They use these guns. They aim them. They have to aim at something to shoot it. But if you're speaking in the purest of terms, protecting yourself, I mean, I think everybody should be allowed to protect themselves.
Right,
but you need to understand how it works. And so,
Definitely do.
as a family, we were able to go. Our oldest, you know, he'll be 24 coming up here soon.
Hey.
Shout out, King Lulu. What's up, man? Love you, son. And we were able to go together as a family and learn how to operate this gun effectively, right? And now, you know, we feel a lot more comfortable having it in our home. And so now, the people who can operate it, they can tote it, and they can do it comfortably. And so that's the proponent, I think, of understanding what guns are about, understanding how to use them appropriately, and for what they're for, and so
I think honestly, everybody should have basic 101.
Yeah, definitely.
At least basic 101. Just
understand how it works, man.
You understand how it works. If you ever need to use it, being able to use it, either you're hunting, whatever you may be doing, you just need to know how to keep yourself safe around those situations, because they really bring awareness to a lot of things. You hear about people dying from pointing their weapons at things. That's one of the first things they teach you. Be like, look, when you have this, you do not point this at anything that you don't want to shoot or you don't want to kill. Whatever you value, don't put it in front of that. So that means don't be playing around with it, because you just don't know. So in order to save yourself from yourself, don't point it at anything crazy.
Right. And that's good. When you get trained on something, that's what it's supposed to do. Raise your awareness, so now you're able to utilize that tool effectively
and appropriately.
Right?
Yeah, and definitely, and teaching that young, but for the right reasons. You know what I'm saying? When I went down to the gun range recently, I just seen kids all ages in there just learning how to operate it. So it's definitely important that you learn how to operate it.
Just be comfortable. Be comfortable with it, right? Because I mean, just what if you're around one and there's a toddler or a kid or something, and you know how to operate and hold that gun, but maybe you're able to go and get that from that young kid, to stop them from that. So just being aware.
Choppers up. You gotta have the choppers put
up.
up.
Just any scenario where that awareness will come in handy, right? Like if you're teaching your kid at a young age, I'm not saying they should be handling guns, but if you're comfortable and they're mature enough,
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying? And you as a parent are able to ascertain that. Yes, I mean, allow them to train and understand it at a young age. I think that's with anything, right? But it just comes with that perspective of knowing, I think this person is ready to take on this type of responsibility. And most people that get guns like this right now, they ain't even training it. They just see what they see on TV,
Video games.
Yeah.
That's who training them.
Where does the culture around gun violence come from? Because I'm thinking inside of my head, I've heard you say, architect, guns don't kill people, people kill people. But there is something deeper that has bared this fruit of gun violence from somewhere. And I'm just trying to figure out where it comes from.
Wow, this is two-part. I mean, you talk about it in just the black community, or just
answer
in general?
the question how you feel appropriate, brother. You can talk both.
I think it's a lot of this nowadays come from a lot of the media portrayal of how sexy guns are or how they can be, right? But they don't portray the need for safety in using it, right? Like if I look at a video, or if I look at, let's say, a YouTube video, and I see one of my favorite rappers, you know what I'm saying, one of my favorite singers, whoever, and they got guns in there, they glorifying the guns, you know what I'm saying? They glorifying the life of having a need for a gun for show versus, what it's supposed to be used for. I mean, if you're going to a gun show, that's one thing, right? But if you're out here just trying to show your gun, that's another thing.
I'm gonna quote one of my favorite movies. What's that for? You win some, you lose some, but you live. You live to fight another day. R.I.P. John Witherspoon.
Yeah.
But
R.I.P., man.
I feel like a lot of gun violence comes from the fact that people don't fight fair anymore. Back in the day, if you had an argument with somebody and y'all understand it, you put the gloves on. Even with your brothers.
Mm-hmm.
You put the gloves on, you box it out, you leave it there, and then you move on. A lot of people are scared of getting whooped.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of gun violence and stuff comes there. Or just that greed mentality. I want what you have.
Yep.
So a lot of stuff can be from that, and then just pent up anger. And then we always talk about mental health. Just don't understand where people are coming from. People not ready or not able or shouldn't be allowed to hold a firearm just for the reasons of any type of mental health or things of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
So I think a lot of gun violence comes from people that are not in the right mind, greed and stress, and lack of choice and lack of opportunity. But everybody has opportunity, so it depends on how you look at it that way, because some people are doing it for other reasons unbeknownst to us, and it's all about perspective of what you say and what we talked about earlier. So some people may feel that that's their only means out is to do this or rob this person or treat this person like that from their perspective. But that's where the mental health can be changed at, because you can usually understand or talk to somebody out of that or understand where this person is coming from to not have to resort to this type of violence or anything like that, trying to get from somebody. So it's all about mental health and where they are as a person, because some people are confused, some people just don't know, some people can be off different type of meds that we see out there, different type of under whatever influences that can draw them to that type of behavior, irate behavior. And it's all about getting help. So if you know anybody that needs help in this area or needs help, it's definitely something we also got to have that conversation too.
Yeah, and you bring up a lot of good points there, Drip Chronicles. Make sure you get the help that you need. If you're ever thinking about being violent against someone, don't come text us. No, get the resources you need. Look, figure it out. Figure something out between the suicide prevention, between the different counseling. I can't handle that. So please, though, we're not certified professionals. We're not. And then Alan, you also brought up a good point too, talking about the entertainment factor, because we just recently saw entertainment. People were shooting a movie. Alec Baldwin was shooting the show.
Was it Rust?
And somebody got popped on that too.
Yep.
So gun safety from that standpoint. So why are we having hot guns on the set and not following the safety protocols? And there was people allegedly saying that they left the whole program or the show because they were fearful. They didn't like how they were running their safety around their guns. And then look at what happens.
Yeah,
they're very they're dangerous and they're serious for a reason. They have a cause, they have a purpose, but you need to be trained and informed on what those purposes are.
Right. That's usually what happens. I mean, when you think about just lack of information, lack of training in anything, you're not going to be proficient at doing that, right? Like if we weren't professionals in our field, right, then we wouldn't be engineers of the year, right? Like speaking of WB. So like you're a tactician because you've been trained professionally, but you also have life training that you bring to the table, that you can bring all that skill to the table and professionally get stuff done if you need to. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to call you in unless they need stuff done. That's, you know what I'm saying? They're going to call you in, Drip, if they don't need stuff done. And they're going to call me in if they don't need stuff done. So that proficiency comes with just an awareness, training, practice. We talk about practice. For real, because this is what happens when you don't have practice. Because if you're aware of how these guns operate, if you're aware of the damage they can cause, if you respect it, you're not glorifying the fact that, I got this gun, I have this quote unquote power over someone who doesn't have one, then you start to look at it differently when you operate it, right? Because as a professional, I know what this can do. I've seen it firsthand in our communities. You know what I'm saying? We've talked about this before, off here, where, gunplay was just something that I mean, 9 out of 10 people I knew, high school, grammar school, they still had guns. We're talking 8, 10, 12, 16, because they had to carry, unfortunately, back then, for protection. I'm using my finger quotes, protection. But who we protecting?
Yeah. And I could take it even further, because people can come on the podcast and listen to this particular episode and may think that we are trying to turn this into a race issue, when in all actuality, I'm not. I'm from Littleton, Colorado. I know for firsthand Columbine High School. I know firsthand gun violence. I know firsthand where they had a person go up in the movie theater in Aurora, Colorado and shoot that up. I know firsthand about Boulder, Colorado, hearing about they were at people shopping at a shopping center at King Soopers, gun violence there, Sandy Hook Elementary School. So I'm not trying to turn this into a black or white issue. We have a bigger problem at hand that we need to get to the core.
Same thing with me. Just going to Northern Illinois University, we had the Valentine's Day shooting where the guy was able to walk into the class, and I know people that were actually in the classroom. One of my bros, Atif, shout out to Atif. He was actually in the classroom when it happened, but just being able to be aware of, that it does happen, and it's not a racial issue, for sure.
Yep. I mean, and now it's just, with everything that's been happening, we understand there's just pent up emotions. Folks are not used to having so much time with people. We still in this pandemic. You know what I'm saying? All this stuff happening, it can weigh on you. It can weigh on you. But you have to change the perspective, right? And I bring it back full circle again. We talk about it because we could sit here and be, angry about what's going on out here in this world, or we could shift our own perspective and understand that we have a duty, we have an honor, and we've been doing what we've been called to do, to inform, to train, to help, so that we don't have these misinformation, this gun violence happen like this, right? We can be trained, we can understand how to position our young youth to be better, right?
Yeah.
That's all it comes down to. And so I just been feeling some type of way about it, man. Like for real. Like like I said, we talked about it when the court cases was happening. I was like, wow, I hope it's different.
But then we saw they were deploying the National Guard and all that, so we knew
I already knew what time it was. Every time before there's been a big final verdict in these cases, they're deploying the National Guard. Why are they doing that if they don't already know what's going to happen?
Because they know somebody's finna be pissed, and there's gonna be some protests going on because they know that people are gonna feel unjust about the decision that was made, or
either way, and that's what's happening. We can't have just civil.
The world is so divided right now too, and that plays another toll in the case too.
And I also want to say that if there is anybody whose ears is listening to this podcast, if you have been affected by gun violence or know somebody that has, we are praying for you, because this is real. This is real. There's people behind these statistics and numbers of people dying. So we want to say we are praying for you, and we hope that all is well, and that you seek the help that you need, and that you are okay about what happened. Seeking that healing, because healing takes time.
Yeah,
that's real.
Wow. Yeah, man. It's and this world is hopefully healing right now. I know doing this podcast with you guys it's been healing for me, for real. Because a lot of times I just don't even know where to. Because I don't want to unload that on just all the family. They're doing everything, but I mean, for us to come as leaders, as brethren, as friends, you know what I'm saying, as professionals, as all these hats that we wear, we're still able to come and talk to each other, just real talk, and be able to get that out. And like I said, hopefully it's able to help somebody that might be going through this, or feel like they're alone in this, man. Because it's been tough, but this podcast has helped me. Just real talk, bro. So thank y'all for sharing once again.
For sure.
No, that's real, man.
All right, I think that's about it. We're gonna wrap it up for this topic on gun violence. But be sure to like the content, share the content, listen to the content again and again and again, because there's probably some hidden gems that you'd have missed in between. So we appreciate y'all for riding out with us and for us as we continue to go out and prosper the airwaves.
For real. And this is always, it's your boy P-Wil, aka Mr. Feel Good.
It's your boy WB. Come fly with me, but you can't fly for free.
And it's your boy Al-Diga,
The architect.
Still building, y'all. Let's get it. We're gonna see y'all on the other side.
Rest in peace, young dog. Go get the money!